Welcome to Monday Mumday. We're Joey and Emma,
bringing you a new,
real,
raw parenting podcast series.
talking to experts,
Celebrities
parents,
and influencers
to shine a light on the areas of parenting that are overlooked
unspoken
or not Instagram worthy. We say that every day is a Monday for a mama. Please subscribe,
like,
comment,
and follow our journey on Monday Mumday.
Joey Kendall Brown,
Emma Soraya Beard.
Thank you for listening! Hello and welcome to Monday Mumday. We are so excited to tell you guys that this episode is sponsored by Nano Baby.
They are such a brilliant brand. They've just launched in the UK. They have designed the first baby bottle specifically for breast milk. So ideal for all you mamas out there who are breastfeeding and expressing.
Nano Baby epitomises everything that Monday Mumday is about, preparing and empowering parents.
Its unique design means it both cools down and warms up twice as fast as a standard shaped bottle, so it helps preserve the nutrients in the breast milk. And its breast-like shape means it's easy holding for little hands.
It's super simple to use as you can pump directly into the bottle as it comes with an adapter that fits most pumps, so no chance of spillages.
And finally, the bottles can stack on top of each other for easy storage in the fridge. Such a smart design.
So whether you want to get your partner involved, you're struggling with feeding, have to return to work, or just need a break, it's the perfect companion on your breastfeeding journey.
It's available in John Lewis, Mamas and Papas, or on Nano Baby's website at nanobaby.co.uk.
Today we are joined by the beautiful and inspirational self-help guru and Instagram agony aunt, Roxie Nafousi. Roxie's journey into emotional health came about after a tough childhood with bullying, depression and low self-esteem. After transitioning from celebrity styling into mental health, Roxie grew a dedicated audience who she inspires daily with positive quotes, relationship advice, sell-out workshops and so much more. Last year, Roxie gave birth to the most gorgeous little boy wolf with her partner Wade, and we are so honoured to have her on Monday Mumday podcast to shed light on the ways we can focus on ourselves and our mental health through parenthood. Roxie, thank you so much for joining us today.
What a lovely introduction. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
I honestly feel like blessed to be in your presence, to have all this positive energy.
Yeah, I hope we can take some of that with us and continue our lives with all of this positive healing feelings.
So Roxie, thank you so much for joining us today. Congratulations on the birth of the wolf. He is literally adorable.
Thank you.
And so well behaved.
He looks like my little Ethan. They could be twins.
He does.
They
But then you two, you guys.
Yeah, we could be.
We could be sisters.
Yeah,
exactly.
for sure.
Maybe we are somehow connected in some way.
Everybody's connected.
Yeah. seven degrees of separation. I love that.
Exactly.
But anyway, motherhood. How are you enjoying it?
Oh my God, I love it. So Wolf turned 7 months 2 days ago. And it has gone so fast, but it's kind of crazy because those first 3 months are such a blur and they're so different to the following maybe the first 4 months. People say the first 3 months, but actually I think it was the first 4 months. But to see like how different they are to the last 3 months, I'm like, how is it even in the same like world of motherhood? They're so different. Like it's such a different experience.
Because they suddenly go from having little to no personality, sleeping all the time, to being these amazing little people, don't they? Where they smile back at you.
Oh my God, it's just incredible.
All the sleep deprivation's worth it.
Yeah, it's just, like, he's just a person now. Like, I'm honestly obsessed with him. I'm like, good, you're so cute. But he's just so fun. Like, he just makes me laugh so much. But I definitely, like, didn't feel like that at the beginning, for sure. I wasn't, like, one of those people that was, like, instant bonding, like, instant love.
Did that worry you at all? That you didn't have that feeling?
No, because do you know what? From the beginning, I've never, ever put any expectations on anything, because from speaking to so many people about motherhood, all I ever heard was like, anything you expect to happen is not going to happen. Even whether it's your labor or your pregnancy or how you're going to find, anything. It's just, it never works out the way you think. And I think more so in motherhood than in any other part of your life. So I didn't have any pressure or expectation on me. But, I mean, this is going so deep so quickly, but I was full of so much self-loathing from my weight gain when I gave birth, that I just didn't have the capacity to love him because I didn't love myself. So it was very, that's why that's why my first workshop was a self-love workshop, because, rather than self-love being selfish, actually is the most selfless thing you can do, because when you love yourself entirely, then you have so much capacity to love others. And nothing proved that to me more than when I had Wolf, and I was so filled with self-hate that I had nothing even for my own child, so I think to see, we've really grown together, and as I've, now I have absolutely none of that. I am now full of self-love and full of unconditional love that everyone talks about. Now I feel it, and I'm so happy.
How did you manage to change your perspective? Because I know for me, I almost feel embarrassed having a self-love, because I don't want to come across as not in a way where you love yourself, as in that kind of, that perspective that everyone's like, oh God, she just loves herself kind of thing. But deep down feeling that appreciation and looking at how actually I was the same as you. I literally hated pregnancy. I didn't like the weight gain. But the change in your thought process of actually, okay, I gained weight, but my body did an amazing thing. I still don't see that. I just think I gained weight kind of thing. So how can we change our perspective to have that self-love?
Look, it's a lot of inner work. Learning to love yourself isn't something that happens overnight, but it's something that you can get to that place. But it is, looking at the way that you speak to yourself, noticing your inner voice, questioning it, not just accepting its negativity, really going, actually, is that a true statement? Is there another way I can look at this? It's doing gratitude exercises every day. It's
what do they involve? What does a gratitude exercise
for if it's about self-love specifically, it is as simple as every single night writing down 5 things you love about yourself. It's finding out what makes you tick. It's finding out who makes you feel good and spending time with those people. That thing you talk about feeling you don't want to seem like you're being arrogant. We're so conditioned to believe that being confident is being arrogant, especially at school. What girls are like.
Well,
it's like, oh gosh, she's so arrogant. But actually that really comes from, most people are not. Look, some people are, okay, fine. Most people do not think they're better than others.
No.
But confidence can be really confronting for a lot of people. So they see someone that's confident and actually they envy it. So then they say, she's so arrogant. So then everybody else thinks, oh, well, I better not be confident because then I'll seem arrogant. Actually, having confidence should inspire you. If I see a confident person, I'm so inspired by it. I'm like, oh, I love their confidence. I want that for myself. One of the things that I talk about in my manifesting workshops is turning envy into inspiration. And so I think, be around people that are confident and look at how are they presenting themselves? Let that inspire you. I don't know, for me that really works.
It really resonates with me.
I mean, I'm getting goosebumps just listening to you, because literally for me, I've listened to so many of the other podcasts you've done and stuff like that, and hearing the way you've turned a negative feeling that you've had into a positive outlook, and also not portraying, you come across so well on your Instagram, and you're not forcing your thoughts down people's throats. You're literally just there.
Thank you. I mean, I get the same nerves when I'm posting, thinking, oh God, I hope I'm not shoving my happiness in anyone's face. And I always have to remind myself that hopefully it's just inspiring people. And I've been so honest about my journey of unhappiness that actually it's really nice to be a bright and positive page to come to, because you also worry that you're I don't want to be a misery guts, because everybody has that kind of worry if it's too much. But, I am proud to be happy, and I'm proud to feel good in myself, and I'm proud to be confident. And, it's really nice to hear, you say that, you've seen the journey and that you find it inspiring. I do. That's all I can really wish for.
And I think you're right. I think we should celebrate the good things, the happy things. I think a lot of people always say, on Instagram, for instance, oh, you always show the good parts, but that's because we want to cherish the good parts.
Absolutely.
And, no one wants to remember a time when you maybe had to go to the emergency room with your baby, because that fills you with dread. So you want to be capturing them moments that make you feel happy, and that should be celebrated.
Of course, it's the moments that you're proud of. I think it's great. It's no different to 10 years ago showing your neighbours your holiday pictures in your photo album, because you're proud of it. And it's we should be proud, and that's so lovely. Like, how nice to be able to post something. You know, I remember when I first had Wolfie and I just kept posting pictures of him, and I was like, oh God, is it too much? And it's like, do you know what? I'm proud. Like, I want to show him off, and we all have the same in us where we want to show off and it's not show off in a kind of boastful way that you say when you're 5 years old and you're like, don't be a show off. Yeah, but you do want to show off your happiness, and you know, and inspire and make people smile, and you know, if someone doesn't want to see it, they just don't follow you.
Exactly. It's as easy as that.
Yeah. As a new parent, we find ourselves making adaptations to our lifestyles, friendships, our relationships. How did you navigate your life change, and how can we do this without feeling like that sense of like losing our old lives?
I mean, I guess for me, I very much under the impression that like being a good mum means that I have to be the best version of me, which means that I wasn't willing to give up a part of my life that was fulfilling me. So I didn't want to give up work. I went straight back after 3 months, like, and probably worked harder than I ever have in my life. I don't give up seeing my friends, and I don't give up going to the gym, and those are things that really, and I don't give up alone time with Wade. So those are like the kind of the things that really fill me and make me feel whole, and I think that enables me to be like the best mum that I can. But I have given up things like drinking, staying out till 6 a.m, smoking, partying, spending time with people that don't make me feel good about myself. And I'm happy to give them up, actually. But it took me becoming a mother to do that, because you are more precious about your time, and you don't want to do things that make you feel bad about yourself or unenergized or low, and then that, you know, translate into being not as good a mum as you can be. So I think for me, it's still not about changing your life to not be you. It's making more of an effort to be your best you. So only have the things in your life that you cherish and that fill you up and that make you feel like the best you can. Because, you know, that's what your children are going to see, and they're going to see how you feel and how you are, and they're going to sense your energy. And letting go of, you know, wild nights out for me is not an issue. I have had more than enough of them, like to last a lifetime. Oh my God, I go on a 6 a.m. coffee run every single morning without fail. And often I'll see people like strolling in, you know, or like still out. And I get such anxiety because I've been there so many times. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy I'm not doing that anymore.
That's crazy, isn't it? My worry is that because I know what I used to get up to, I know what Knox is going to get up to.
That's so true.
No, don't do it.
So true.
So rewind to when you fell pregnant.
Yeah.
Were you aware of pre- and postnatal depression, and were you able to kind of adapt the way you thought and like process the whole pregnancy, or is it something you kind of grew with throughout the 9 months?
No. So I actually found out I was pregnant because I was in Dubai with Wolfie.
Saying hello.
Yeah. I was in Dubai with Wade, and we'd only been together 3 months, and we'd just met in Dubai because he'd gone away to get his visa to come move here. And I was just feeling really flat. And the night before I came back to London, I actually started crying, and he was like, "Why are you crying?" And I was like, "I just feel like I kept having flashbacks of like life and like my 20s, and I was like, I just feel like I'm going to a new life. I just don't feel like I'm going back to the same life." And I thought it was just because I'd kind of been on this journey anyway, and I was trying to get healthy and stop drinking so much and everything. And I was really just like, I don't know, I was just a bit sad, a bit flat. And I got to my sister's and I was like, oh, I've come back and I'm not feeling like good. And I was like, and I should be, because I'm being healthy and work's going well and I'm in really good shape and I'm in a new relationship, which means that I should be full of this like euphoria that you feel in those early stages. And she was like, are you sure you're not pregnant? And I was like, I'm definitely not pregnant, like 100%. Anyway, I was in the bath. I took a test in the bathroom at her house, and she was like, and I just saw the cross, and I just, Wade and my sister were outside the bathroom, and I was like, what does the cross mean? And there was like silence. And I was like, what does the cross mean? And they were like, you're pregnant. And
Oh
I just
my
like
God.
broke down in tears. And I would say honestly, from then on, I just went from bad to worse. My mental health was just on a steady decline. It was horrific. And it's funny because I was feeling flat and low before I found out I was pregnant. So that kind of made me think it was a hormone thing,
Yeah.
and it was a real like chemical imbalance. But I know I was not aware of it at all. And look, it's hard how much of it was hormone, how much of it was just like shock, and I was with someone new, and then we moved house like a week later to this place now, but at the time it literally looked like a student apartment, like it was a complete dump. And it was just a lot of change. I had to give up smoking. I actually wasn't ready to give up drinking, and it was just a lot, so I don't know. But then the weight gain happened for me, which I was really rapid, and I've spoken about it so much. I feel like I'm boring myself and everyone talking about it. I mean, everyone's like, yeah, we get it, you put on weight. But
That's how I felt there. I was like, literally, no one can look at me ever. I felt like a beach
yeah,
squirrel.
I didn't actually leave the house for the last like 3 months. Well, I didn't leave Waterloo, where I live. I stayed where no one would see me for 10 days. I actually didn't leave the house once.
Really?
And I was like developing agoraphobia. I was like so scared that anyone would see me. I completely lost all my identity. Like, you look, a lot of my work had been based around, I guess appearance, but also it is how I validated myself on some level. I think everyone validates themselves to some degree, or not everyone, that's a vast generalization, but a lot of people do value how they look. And when you completely lose and you look like it, and it wasn't like I just put on some weight, I actually looked like a different person. And I did get asked when I went to pick up my niece from nursery if I was Roxie's sister. Like, I really did. I was a different person, and I lost all my sense of identity. I didn't work. I didn't want to socialize. So I really felt like I was kind of like in this like mental prison. And I do feel like honestly traumatized by it. Like when I think about pregnancy, there was such darkness and such self-loathing and such sadness. It really is sad to actually think about it, that I went through that, and for Wade even to go through
I was
it
going to
with
say,
me.
how did he like cope with it? Did he find it,
It was
really...
really difficult for him because he was from Australia. He'd only come into London on holiday for 4 days, met me. Suddenly, he's having a baby with me. I'm depressed. He's got no family here. Like, it was a lot for him, but he was just... I mean... I just could not even begin to describe how grateful I am to him. And there's, I just can't even, he's just an amazing man. Like, the patience he has and the love he has and the love he gave me and the support. I mean, he is absolutely like my world, and I'm so grateful for him. I don't think a lot of people would have been able to cope with it the way that he did.
Did you talk about it openly about how you were feeling, or did you lock it up? Because a lot of people tend to keep it all wrapped up, and that makes it worse. Or were you vocal?
Yeah,
were you able to say?
I was very vocal about it. Everyone fucking knew. Yeah.
At least they understood then, though.
I'm very open about that stuff.
Did you ever get any negatives for you being open? Because I feel like a lot of people feel scared to say, I'm uncomfortable with the way that I look at the moment.
Yeah.
Because people will go, you're being ungrateful, you're pregnant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is a ridiculous thing to say. Because
Yeah.
of course you're grateful. But I think some people feel scared to say, actually, I can't recognise myself in the mirror. I feel really, really low about myself. And that makes them feel even worse. Because they feel like this sense of like, I shouldn't be feeling this way, but
definitely.
I am. So do you think that
Of
compounds?
course. Yeah, because there's a sense of... you have to be grateful to be pregnant, and in that case you can never complain about anything, but it's just not true. I mean, it's the same as saying you shouldn't be disappointed if you have a bad meal because you can eat. It's the same. Like, what upsets you, and what makes you feel bad, and you shouldn't really have to explain it to anyone. Of course I was grateful to be pregnant. Of course I was of course I was so happy to be having a baby, and I never doubted it for a second that I wouldn't. I knew I was gonna like love being a mum, and I'd always said I'd never be truly happy till I'm a mum, and that was absolutely true. I knew it all my life, but it didn't make it any easier. I absolutely despised being pregnant. Having said that, I can't wait to be pregnant again and do it differently.
That was going to be my question, actually. I was going to say, has it put you off having another?
No, I can't wait to do it differently.
Really?
I think I'll be more prepared for it mentally, physically. I probably won't allow myself to eat like 100 twirls and pizzas every day.
Did you suffer from like any sickness or anything like that?
Physically, I had a perfect pregnancy. I was
Just
so
emotion,
lucky. It was just emotion. Physically, I was fine.
Do you know if it was like water retention or anything like that?
There was, a lot of water retention. Also, like my nose, oh my days, it was like triple the size. It was like bulbous.
Is it something that only you noticed though?
No.
And like everyone said,
No.
actually,
Even
Roxie,
Wade,
right.
we look back at pictures and he's like, I actually don't know how I loved you. He's like, I genuinely didn't see it and I don't know how. Yes, he says I looked like an old Greek Cypriot man. Fact. I'll show you the picture because nobody believes me at how bad it got.
But you're quite open about sharing that journey. Like, I know you've posted on your Instagram some of the before and after shots of pregnancy and
I
stuff.
have not posted the worst ones, put it that way. Yeah, it was not good. I remember when I gave birth, I asked Wade to go get me some pajamas from Primark because I absolutely love Primark pajamas. I have like an addiction to them. And extra large was really tight on my legs. And that's saying something. Like, you know what I mean?
And you just think it was like because I literally blew up as well. Like looking back at my videos when we were trying to get knocks out naturally, I was like walking around the park and everything, and I was almost as wide as I was tall because I'm so little, and like I just looked like this little person waddling along, and my husband's like 6'4" and really tall and slim. So people must have thought, what the hell are those two on?
So to anybody out there who's maybe feeling these feelings, what advice would you give them?
Oh God, just that it's temporary and that you really like. If you want, like, anything that you're worried about, everything goes back the way that you want it and back to yourself. And I used to spend hours on Mum's Net just being like, will I be me again? Because I think ultimately the problem with it all and the reason you get so sad is you don't feel like yourself and you feel out of control. And there's no end until the baby has arrived to this like anything you're going through, whether it's this sickness or it's the sadness or it's the weight gain, whatever thing you're going through in pregnancy that feels not great for you, at the time you feel like there's no end to it, right? And I think that I always say about like being unhappy anyway is that when you're depressed, you feel like you're never going to be happy again. And when you're happy, you think you're never going to be depressed again. It's like everything is transient. Everything, there's an end to everything. You will be yourself again. Just try and, I say just try and enjoy it, but I know that I found that hard. But, I'll tell myself that next time for sure.
Yeah. Did you ever speak to anyone whilst you were going through those kind of like dark thoughts?
Yeah, Wade a lot. Yeah,
but no one like professional, for example.
Yes, I want to look. When my midwife was amazing, Talia, she was just so kind. Like she was just the best. Like I just love the NHS so much. I honestly think they are just so incredible. And she was so kind, she gave me her number. I text her when I like needed her. She tried to put me on the like list to see like a therapist or counselor or something, but they just couldn't fit me in. I mean, the wait list must just be so long. And that's with apparently they prioritize prenatal and postnatal mental health issues, but even so it was very, very difficult to get an appointment.
That's the sad thing about it, because I think that I was never diagnosed with postnatal depression, but I felt so fragile after giving birth to the boys. I felt like a failure as a mum, and I had this anxiety all the time that just would creep in and would not leave. And I look back and I wonder, was I clinically like depressed? Did I have depression, or do all parents have them hard times at the beginning? Like it's difficult for me to say, but I know that I massively struggled in the first year with my mental health, and so did my partner. But do all parents struggle? Is it a taboo? Like, do people just don't talk about the hardships, and maybe I was just having a hard time rather than being depressed? Is there a difference?
I don't know. I don't. Okay, for example, I don't think I have. Or while I struggled postnatally, I didn't have any. So I don't think it's something everyone goes through, and I do think, yes, sleep deprivation, change of lifestyle, stress, that's all gonna feed into you not feeling your best. If you feel hopeless about the future and that's a consistent feeling that things won't get better, I would say that's one of the biggest indicators that it's depression. For me, you know, feeling a bit low for a while, you can kind of put something, you can pinpoint it. You can be like, I'm feeling sad because XYZ, right? And in this case, sometimes you can, but sometimes there's not a specific thing and you're just thinking, I just don't see this ever getting better. And once you start thinking, I don't see this getting better, that's when I think you need to speak to someone.
Thank you. It's really nice to clarify that, because I think there's a real distinction between the two.
Yeah.
But it's big.
I mean, you had double the load as well, didn't
I
you?
mean, I honestly just think you're a superhero. I think that is just, anyone that has twins, I'm like, how?
I don't know how we got through it. I honestly don't.
It's amazing.
I do bang on about this a lot in the podcast, but it really, really was tough. And a lot of twin mums have got in touch with me to say that they're glad that we're talking about how hard it is, because they just found themselves really isolated.
Yeah.
Because I basically didn't leave the house for 5 months because I physically couldn't, because I was breastfeeding the boys at the time, and by the time the cycle comes
breastfeed
up,
both?
yeah, but only for 3 months, because
But that's
by
amazing.
that point I was like, I need to sleep. I literally didn't sleep for 3 months, and I mean, did not sleep, because the 3-hour cycle, because they were premature, and then it got to the 4-hour cycle. But then I was doing one baby took an hour, next baby took an hour. Then
Oh my god, because it takes an
Eating
hour
and drinking
back
food,
then.
and then
you produce
expressing,
milk, yeah.
eating, and then you start the feeding again.
But
So
you forget, don't you, that
Yeah.
in those early days it's an hour to feed?
I know.
It's so insane.
it's like an hour to feed, then an hour to wind.
Oh my
Change
goodness.
them, and so I was in this vicious cycle of just never being able to sort of get out of the house, which was really, really difficult.
Oh, that's I mean, and not getting fresh air and a change
Yeah.
of scene, and it's going to send you mad.
Yeah, definitely.
One thing that I was like keen to ask you about, and I know that Stacey Solomon has spoken about it recently as well, is that after she gave birth, she had these almost overbearing feelings of not wanting people to come close to the baby and wanting to breastfeed and stuff like that. And I actually had exactly the same,
Right.
and pushed away all of the closest people from
Oh,
me.
wow,
Didn't want to
yeah,
have
yeah.
any help, made my life
Yeah.
impossibly difficult, didn't even like trust Andy with the baby and
Really,
stuff.
yeah.
But do you think that like postnatal depression can show itself in other ways, like something like that?
Yes.
Or do you think it's just first time mum feeling anxious kind of thing?
I don't want to, it's hard because I don't want to sit here and say, because you didn't want anyone near your baby, you must have been depressed in some way. Because you just don't, I don't know. So I don't
Yeah.
have the, it's not something that every mother has.
Yeah.
No. Like I had the complete opposite.
Yeah, exactly. Because you
But-
were depressed before, and
Yes.
then you kind of came through it and saw the shining light.
But yes, look, mental health problems are not just depressed and anxious. There's a whole spectrum of things. So if you're doing something that maybe isn't rational, and you can look back on it and say, well, that was not a rational thought, then yeah, that's
Some sort of-
something to do with your mental health at the time, and it could be hormones, and it could be like we've said, sleep deprivation, or all those other things, and your body is just in like mayhem. So there are lots of different ways that mental health problems can manifest themselves.
And if we are suffering from things like that, because it's like quite an odd thing to have, really, isn't it? Like Emma, I remember on another podcast you were saying I wanted all the help I could get, and literally I wanted to lock myself in a room
Yeah.
and not let anyone touch him.
Yeah.
And I just think now, as you say, I can look back and think, oh my god, I was nuts. Like,
Yeah.
But how do you kind of rationalize those thoughts when you are sleep deprived and you do have these hormones like
I
raging
just
through
don't
your
know if
body?
you can. I think, look, my only advice, unless things are getting really hard and you have to seek professional help. Like
Yeah.
everybody should, like, and not be embarrassed to. There are people that want to support you. Speak to your partners, speak to other moms. You know, nothing hasn't happened to someone else before. Anything you're going through, there are hundreds of other women that are going through the exact same thing. You're never on your own with it. Like, you telling me, you know, that I've heard that from so many mums.
Yeah.
It's not what is normal. And I think my biggest advice to mums is just stop putting so much pressure on yourself. If you're going to be reading parenting books, take them with a pinch of salt, for the love of God. Like, is no such thing as a perfect parent. No, everyone is just doing their best. All they want to do is bring up their child the best way they can and that they know how. No one mum is better than another mum. I just don't believe it. As long as we're giving our child unconditional love and we're doing our best and we're trying to also take care of ourselves at the same time, that's all you can ask of yourself. So just give yourself a break, like, and don't judge yourself on any of those things that you did then or that you're doing now. Like, you're just doing your best.
I remember Joe saying that it's impacted your relationship with Andy.
100%.
And that she was asking, you were talking to me when you were
Yeah.
about saying, you know, how can she speak to Andy now about
And get him to
her-
understand
Yeah.
that it was like me not thinking rationally. It wasn't like me deliberately pushing him away. And like another thing, his mum's a health visitor, and so I thought she's going to be amazing with Knox. And
Yeah.
I've never had a child before. I don't feel maternal in any way.
Yeah.
What happens if I can't make my own baby love me and like care for them, and then these other people around me are going to be so much better? That was like my biggest fear,
Right.
and that I was going to fail in the first place.
Yeah.
So it was almost like blocking people out so that I could get a grip first.
Absolutely. I mean, that's very self-aware of you. I mean, you've just kind of found your source there and that when you're trigger. So that, I mean, that's pretty incredible that you have the awareness to be able to describe it like that.
And luckily I've got forgiving family, so
And hopefully you forgive yourself as well.
Yeah.
Like, and don't judge yourself for it in any way, because that's the most important thing, is that you know that you did nothing wrong, and that's just how you had to be at the time, you know, and you didn't.
And hopefully it wouldn't happen again, because like it was so bad actually. It's put Andy off having any more children. So he's like so worried that he's going to kind of take a back seat for that first year. And also my mood swings, because I didn't know whether I was like coming or going, and having all these thoughts that I didn't feel I could maybe say, oh, listen, can I just have like a week on my own, or that kind of thing, that I kind of turned into almost like a lesser person of myself, if that makes
don't
sense.
say that.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like and even when we came and first started recording this with you, this has been like therapy for me.
Yeah.
So like, we've kind of gone through all the different emotions and everything, and like letting go enough to put Knox in nursery, and not thinking that that's someone else bringing up my child. That's someone else giving him something that I can't give him, because we have work to do, and actually work makes me feel good, and therefore by sending him to nursery, I've actually had a positive impact out of it. But it takes other people that aren't maybe close to you to kind of give you that little nudge, like Emma, to actually take that step and get on with it.
And that's why talking about it's so important, isn't it, to friends and things.
That's what's great about social media, isn't it?
Exactly, and hearing those stories. And look, I think with Andy, it's just, you don't go through the same things twice. You know, like, you will have learned so much about yourselves, about each other, and, you know, find a way that you can, like, I always say, like, find the best way to communicate with them by finding out how they listen best. So it's always making sure, firstly, that nobody ever feels attacked, because as soon as someone starts defending themselves, they're not listening. Does he actually listen better face to face? Actually, is it better if you write him like a long message? People kind of think, oh, you can't text something important. Actually, some people listen better like that,
be fair,
because they reflect.
Like, when you go through like relationship breakups and stuff like that, you always kind of like process it and send each other these long-winded messages being like, I love you, but it's not right, and then you end up working it out, don't you?
You just have to find the way that he best hears you, you know. And I think it is really important that it's really important that someone doesn't judge you on your past behavior and say, this is who you are. I really feel strongly about that. We are ever evolving as humans. We're always growing and changing. And I think there's a tendency for people to put other people in their boxes. This is what you did when you were 16, therefore this is who you are. No, who I was yesterday isn't who I am today. So really it's about both of you looking at each other and who you are now, understanding that you've grown. It's been 2 years. You're still growing, you're still learning, and with a new child there's a whole new journey and a whole new opportunity to learn. But ultimately what's important is that you're going to love and support and respect each other no matter what, and giving each other a safe space to be who you are now. You know, and not putting past judgment on each other.
I'm going to make sure he listens to this one.
I think that all the women out there who have gone through something similar to you, hopefully this will really help them as well.
Oh, I hope so.
You've spoken about having a morning ritual.
Yes.
About going and having coffee at 6 a.m. How much did this have a positive impact on sort of like motherhood at the beginning?
Oh, good question. Well, because I wasn't leaving the house much at the beginning, it was really like the streets were quiet and it was just like a time for us to just like be a family. I really love walking, and me and Wade, like, it's our best chat time, you know, because at home it's really easy. Like, I'm always on my phone working, or, you know, he's doing, you know, whatever, or he's been away or whatever, you know, there's 100 distractions, but usually they're revolved around Wolfie when we're at home. But when Wolfie's in his pram, he's just chilling and watching the world go by, and me and Wade can just talk, and it's so nice. And even when he was away for 3 months, I still did it every morning on my own with Wolfie, and it's such a nice way to start the day. Getting fresh air first thing in the morning just makes you feel good. And for me, it's like, okay, the day started now, and then I come back and then I'm like, right, let's go. I literally, and everyone's like, how'd you get out of the house so early? It's like, I just literally put on my jogging bottoms and trainers and a hat. I'm not putting makeup on to like go get ready for my morning coffee. It's like, just get on whatever you can and just walk for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It's such a nice way to start the day. And it is kind of, you know, I think that was bonding for me and Wolfie as well, because you're looking at each other, you know, and you're just, it's I don't know, it's just a really special time for me, and it's my favourite way to start the day.
And also it gives you that kind of adrenaline, even though it's only like a quiet walk down to your coffee shop. It
wakes
like
you up,
recharging you for the
oh
day,
my god, it totally does. I mean, I also became a coffee addict because of it.
Me too. I think every parent's a coffee addict now.
Oh my god, totally.
My goodness. For any mums, because for me, I really, really was scared about going outside. Now, I've always been an outdoors girl. I know how important nature is. But when I became a mum, I couldn't get out the door. I literally was so scared of going out with the baby on my own. What happens if something happens? It's ridiculous, irrational. But there's a lot of mums that have contacted us, haven't they, Joey, over the last few months and said, I'm scared to get out the door.
Oh my god, I had the same.
Yeah.
I totally get it. I had a really big fear of Wolf crying in public and looking like a bad mum and like a teen mum or something, you know?
I mean, you do look great for your age.
Not that there's anything wrong with teen mums, by the way. Sorry, I didn't mean that. But like, I felt like I would just look really inexperienced, really stupid. I remember the first time it happened, I literally would come out in like sweats. I was so anxious and nervous, and I like refused to leave the house without Wade, because I was like, I can't do it on my own. So I totally get it. The only way you overcome it is by doing it.
Yeah.
That's it. You have to.
That was the same as
like,
us, actually.
If
Andy
you can
went
give
away.
birth to a baby, you can get out of that house.
Yeah.
And also,
like,
we
just
have
do
shops,
it.
don't we? We have shops everywhere. You can buy whatever you need.
Yes, and
or just go home.
I really do wish that I'd have spoken to you, because it took me 5 months to
Yeah.
get out on my own. I've been out with Danny.
Yeah.
He took me out and we did together. But the first time was around 5 months that I went out on my own with the boys. And I did feel great when I got home. So for any parent out there that's listening who is just sitting there thinking, I can't do it, get your coat on, get your trainers on, don't care about your makeup, and just get out.
Absolutely. And do you know what? People are so kind. The majority of people have been through it before. They're so helpful. You've never had someone open a door for you more often than when you've got a young baby with you. I mean, it's
so true.
people are so nice. And if they're not, fuck them.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, really, I just do it, just go. Yeah.
Even if it's like writing a checklist or something like that, I think that helped me, is I knew on my phone I had a list of everything I need to put in my bag so I could get out the door.
Exactly.
And I wouldn't forget anything.
So, yeah, I mean, being organised is great. It's so important.
So as we spoke about earlier, as a new mother, you can lose your self-identity.
Yeah.
What sort of ways can we look at regaining our self-identity?
I think, look, take a look at your life and split it into sections. Okay, so let's get a piece of paper and split it into 6 boxes. Mum is one of them. Fill in the other 5. Like, force yourself. You know, it might be exercise, it might be your work, it might be your romantic relationships, your family, your hobbies, reading, time alone, whatever. Fill that in. Being a mum is just a small part of your, not a small part, look, it's a massive part, but it's a part. It's not,
doesn't define who you are.
You are more than just a mum. It's like, yes, I'm a mum. I'm also a self-help guru. I'm also a girlfriend. I'm also a sister and a friend. You know, I'm lots of things. And a mum is one of those things. And I think I found that quite easy because I never planned to be a mum. So for me, it was like, okay, I'm a mum, but I'm still going to be all these other things. So maybe I have an advantage from that. I hadn't decided like, okay, this is my time of my life where I'm going to now decide to just be a mum. And I think no one is just a mum. Everybody is more than that. There are 100 other things. So figure out what else you are, and really dedicate time to it, because it's not selfish. And I think this is what people worry about the most, is they're like, I have to give my everything to my child. And it's like, you have to be the best mum you can be, and that means being the best you. It's like, I don't want Wolf to see me personally as just someone that dotes on him 100% of the time and has nothing for myself. I want him to see me as someone that's strong and independent and loving and fun and got a whole load of things to show him in the world, because I've experienced a lot. You know, for me, that's what I want. And I think a lot of people maybe want that for themselves, but I know it's not easy. And I hate, like, I worry in my head, I'm like, fuck, I hope I don't sound preachy. I'm not trying to, and I'm not assuming that it's ever easy for everyone. I totally get that people don't have people to help them. You know, I'm very lucky, I've got support in Wade. Some people are single mums, they don't have that. But, you know, if that's the case, when your baby's napping, take that time. Just, you know, get in the bath straight away, you know, steal those 10 minutes, make yourself a self-care routine, you know, get yourself some nice cream so you can enjoy it, get yourself a good book, find a series that you enjoy, you know, do an at-home workout, do a carry fit class. You know, there's always opportunity to do something for yourself, whether you have help from a partner or your family or babysitters, or you don't. But just really prioritize it. Like, you're more than a mum.
Yeah. We are more than a mum. God damn it! I'm already feeling proud already. I'm gonna get my paper out on the train home, and I'm gonna do my 5
manifestation.
Yeah.
Which leads us further down the podcast. Can you explain a little bit about manifestation for us? Because I'm so intrigued. I'm literally obsessed.
Oh God, okay. It's such a big topic, but manifesting is essentially being able to draw into your life anything that you want and create the exact